Hey, this is Xperience Sessions on indigomusic.com. I'm Simona, and I'm here in conversation with the Gerard Machado Network. Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to Xperience Sessions.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
I always get excited about the origin story. Every band has a beginning. Either they met at a jam session or at a concert, or it's this mutual love for an artist or genre that brings them together. So, in your case, each of you is a music aficionado in your own right. So, I'm extra curious as to how you guys got together. What is your origin story?
Gerard Machado Network has been there for a long time. It's almost 30 years now. And way back in 1994 with this name for an album called Spectrum.
All right.
I had a deal with Crescendo Music back then. So they offered me this recording contract. And one of them was from Goa, Williams. He passed away, unfortunately.
Okay.
So the band has been going on since then. A lot of different musicians have been part of this project, the network. So right now I have these amazing musicians, Joshua Costa, Karthik Mani, and my nephew Rahil Thomas. They are brilliant, they're amazing, fantastic. It's a pleasure to work with.
I believe you. So it's like basically it's a family that's been growing bigger and bigger since 94. Different
Yeah.
people from different generations being pulled in. Awesome.
Yeah,
All right. So let's just zoom out a little bit and talk about the Indian audience. All right. Now, when I think blues music, I think it's such an authentic genre. It's very raw, it's very real. What you hear is what the artist is feeling, and it's very authentic. So I always think blues is something that's very easy to listen to, but with certain people, it's either a hit or a miss. So because of that, it tends to have like a niche following globally. So talking about just the Indian audience, what is your observation as to how the Indian audience is interacting with this genre?
I think part of it is, you answered the question yourself. I think blues evokes an emotion, right? More than anything. So human beings are emotional creatures. So it's easy to connect with the blues, irrespective whether you're from India or anywhere in the world, wherever you come from, whatever your background, you can connect with blues very easily, to that extent. And coming to the connection with Indians, I think India has a very good blues following. There are many bands that play exclusively traditional blues music, which is loved by a lot of people. But there are also bands that have broken the genre barriers by fusing blues with a lot of other styles, and including Indian and use of native instruments like flute, Indian percussions, etc. So, this is sometimes called blues fusion, right? And this has helped further popularize in India, at least. And another fact I think which makes blues popular within India or anywhere for that matter is many popular rock, R&B, even jazz and pop music artists, right? They use blues styles and progressions in their own compositions. If you take artists like, say, an Eric Clapton or John Mayer or Janis Joplin, a lot of their songs are rooted in blues. So these are already popular artists which a lot of people already listen to. So when fans cover these artists, they essentially widen their audience, they widen the scope of their listeners, right? Definitely popularize the blues. You can see this connection whenever we perform blues to people. We can see the people have with what's going on stage. And so all in all, I think it's a very promising time ahead for blues in India. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, two things stuck with me from what you said. One is fusion. I think we as Indians, we have this beautiful opportunity to fuse Indian with Western styles. And it almost always, 98% of the time, sounds better than both the genres individually. It's like a synergy is achieved. And the second thing you mentioned, a lot of times people have heard elements of blues music in their favorite songs, but they just don't know it. So, yeah. Actually, you mentioned earlier, I think Joshua said this at some point. He was like, it's very important to pay attention to what you listen to because what you listen to affects the type of music you produce, right? So you guys have a really special gig that's coming up, this International Blues Music Day. Is there any specific tracks that you all are listening to in order to, rev up for that day and to get ready for that day?
We'll be playing a composition of mine called Blue Ladder. So
Awesome.
we're going to incorporate the Indian element with the blues.
For me, first of all, playing with Gerard is a big honor because of his experience, and for me, it's always a pleasure and to interact with him when we play on stage, where he goes somewhere, I try to follow. All these things happen within us. And Joshua and we all know, and I mean that's the fun part for me playing with them, and also now introducing. See, I come from a Carnatic background, so this is the first time I'll be introducing. Very few people have done, maybe I don't know, but we're going to use konakol, the Indian rhythmic art form, in a
Wow.
blues song. So it's going to be pretty interesting how we're going to use that, as well as I'm going to do some drum solo, which has an Indian element. and rock and jazz, kind of mixing everything and trying to do something very interesting, even for ourselves and for audience.
My gosh. Okay, you just dropped a bomb on me. Control and blues music.
Yeah. Because see, Konokol normally what happens we have a tala system. We
Mm,
put a tala and that's kind of a thing. But in blues, I think they have also chord structures, there's progression, everything. So when I have to keep that in mind and do Konokol, and so it'll be very interesting and challenging as well as fun. All three together playing with such amazing musicians for me. So really, really looking forward for that.
I'm guessing it was your idea, Karthik, to bring Konakol into
No,
this.
no, it was completely Gerard's idea
It
because
was?
Gerard,
Oh
no,
my
because
God.
Gerard has been working with Carnatic musicians from a very long time. Gerard, sir, you've been for a long time, I think, no?
Yeah, so almost 30 years. Just like
Yeah, so
network.
he knows everything about that. So
Gerard, you're a bona fide maestro at this point.
Thank
absolutely.
you.
I have another curious question that I wanted to actually spring on you guys. So, if an individual who has never explored blues music earlier was to basically come up to you and ask you for a suggestion, and you all had to suggest a song, what song would you suggest to that you would have full confidence that this person, if they listen to this track, they're going to fall in love with blues music?
Buddy Guy, BB King. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
then, of course, more modern players would be John Mayer, who's still taking it forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'd have Robin Ford, you'd
Mhm.
have JJ Cale, you'd have Nat King Cole. I mean, the names are, I can keep going on and on.
Mm-hmm.
But since you're asking for one song, for me, it's kind of underrated. There's a song called Give Me One Reason to Stay Here by Tracy Chapman. So she's more famous for her song Fast Car. But when I was doing some research, I realized that she has an amazing blues track. I think you should check that one out.
I,
If when you have the time, it's called
mhm.
Give Me One Reason to Stay Here by Eric Clapton and Tracy Chapman. That's
Oh,
my suggestion. Yeah.
and also, Rahel, I have another very curious question. I'm a very curious person right now. So you just came off of the Broadway musical just recently. I think it just ended this past weekend, and that's a huge mentality shift. You're going from a
Yeah.
Broadway musical to playing a blues event on
Yep.
not just any day. This is International Blues Music Day. Okay, how are you dealing with this shift? Can you just switch it on and off like that?
The answer is now yes, but there's a reason for it because I've been fortunate enough to be in the rooms with musicians who have way more experience than I do. And these are the musicians sitting right in front of you right now. A rich wealth of music and not just one genre, right? That's what
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about. We're talking about a fusion of Carnatic, fusion of jazz. I've listened to this growing up. I've had the honor of being in the jam room with Uncle Gerard when he performs with these wonderful musicians, and I'm that 8-year-old kid just listening, just absorbing everything. So the answer to your question is now I don't have to switch it on or switch it off because my tutelage and my knowledge has come from there, from my childhood where I've listened to everything. So it's quite the answer to your question is now I am genre fluid. That's the answer.
Now coming to the main event, the one that we all want to discuss, the Bengaluru Blues Habba. It's happening at Koramangala Club, and the Gerard Machado Network is going to be playing there. That's you guys. Now, you guys are performing not just on any day, like I mentioned earlier, this is International Blues Music Day. You all are essentially paying a tribute to the genre itself. Now, you already gave me a little bit of sneak peek. There's a fusion track that you're going to basically feature. But what else can audience expect? Like, how would you describe this event to a person who's almost like, they're tinkering as to whether they should attend it or not?
I think the music will speak for it. We are all experienced musicians. I think the solos will speak for each musician
Got it.
and the singing as well.
For this conversation, I've learned so much. I'm intrigued, honestly. I can't wait to see a performance at the Bengaluru Blues Habba this International Blues Music Day. Thank you so much for keeping blues music alive, not just in our city, but in our country and the world. It's people like you that keep the genre alive and going. So thank you.